Are you shitting me with this again? I thought we were done with this crap in 2020. But folks, we are back again to this nonsense of elections in America. I am not doing a post-mortem of this race or any of the races until this crap is finished. Because this is complete horseshit what's happening in Pennsylvania right now. I cannot believe my eyes as to what I'm witnessing. This has to be one of the most absurd things we have seen since 2020, if not more absurd, because boy oh boy, this is getting stupid. So this is the state of the Senate race in Pennsylvania. No intro, we gotta get right into it because this is a nightmare of a situation and we gotta fix this. This is getting absurd, it keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Now, before we forget, of course, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash that like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit the little bell, and yes, of course, go follow that mysterious Twitter account in the description down below. Also, follow my Truth Social. Yes, I finally made one. I can finally use it. Again, all the links to that stuff will be in the description down below. But we gotta talk about this, folks, because this is a disgrace to American elections. Elections in general, not just American elections. This makes banana republics look stable, look transparent. Because what the fuck is this? So if you don't know, Dr. Oz has around 1,700 vote lead. It's shrunk a little bit. Alright. He's second place is McCormick, which I was the only one to say McCormick was going to take second place. And, well, we're in this situation. Automatically, though, this is going to a recount. So it doesn't matter what happens. This is going to recount if it's within a half percentage point. It's clearly within a 0.5%. And Dr. Oz is winning right now. And I still think he's the favorite. I mean, there is... We'll get to it, but... with the math, even with, McCormick maybe having a bit more favorable ballots, you start looking at the math. McCormick needs basically everything to go right. He needs every single batch to go his way, and there is some batches more favorable to Oz. There's a couple in Philly. As you can see here, Philly is one of his better counties. Philadelphia. There's a couple up here. I think it's up here somewhere. There's a little bit of Northampton. There's a little bit of Luzerne, a little bit of Lackawanna, which are strong Oz counties. So there is a bit of vote left in the eastern half of the state, which will benefit Oz huge. There's a little bit left in Delaware, which will probably be mixed. So yeah. But before we get into what's happening in western part of the state, this is such a weird map. I mean, look at this. So Oz's strength was definitely Philadelphia, Bucks County, which is a working class part of the suburbs of Philadelphia, but also did great in northeastern Pennsylvania, which is a very blue collar area. There's a lot of blue dog Dems here. I mean, this is an area that Lou Barletta did best in. Of course, he's from the area. But Oz has a weird map here, and he kind of like stretches all the way around, and it's like, why? But of course, the shock of the night is by far McCormick. What the fuck happened here? This is a complete and total stunner. I knew McCormick was going to take second because, well, it just made sense. I mean, you look at Burnett's polling data, it's like, you just dig into it, it's like, she's only surging with those voters in places like Montgomery, Chester, Delaware, etc. She wasn't, surging anywhere else. And, well, I was right about that, kind of. But McCormick, though, this is absurd. The fact he's at 31%, he's only down by 1,700 votes, it's just mind-boggling to me. And you can see here where McCormick did best in. He did best in western and central Pennsylvania. Now, for the western Pennsylvania, this is why. This is something stupid Pennsylvania does. And again, I talked about this in my last video, how geography matters. Well, he made his home county Pittsburgh, or Allegheny, which... we'll get to this county in a second. This is bullshit. But essentially, they put his county down. And a lot of these undecided voters just voted for McCormick because, oh, he's from Pittsburgh. He must represent my values. And same thing with Eastern Pennsylvania, same thing with places like Montgomery, etc. But yeah, that is why we have this map. But that's not the topic for today's video. It's what's left. And this is my issue with these elections. Now, we all know what happened in 2020. I'm not alleging any F-word stuff. What I am saying, however, there is pure incompetence. Well, they're making 2020 look like the most competently ran election in the history of American elections. Because what the hell? What? I mean, seriously, if you don't know, all that's essentially left is, you know, a couple thousand mail-in ballots, which they're saying 20, 30,000. I don't believe that. I highly doubt that. You look at where these mail-in ballots are from, they're mostly from Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. Those would be mostly Democrat ballots. But either way, there's a lot of mail-in ballots left. But that's not the problem. That was expected. When you take into account that, there's probably like, what? Maybe 10,000 mail-in ballots, if I'm estimating this correctly. Roughly 10,000 real Republican mail-in ballots left, based on where they're coming from. And you take that into account. It's like, okay, that alone, Oz would still win by like, you know, maybe like 1,000 votes or so. So it's like, what are we waiting on? What are we possibly waiting on? Well, you notice how I said, you know, this part of the state's gonna be favorable to Oz. Allegheny and places like Washington, Westmoreland, kind of, but mostly Allegheny. These incompetent assholes are the reason that we won't know who won this election till, drumroll please, fucking Monday. These assholes, alright? These assholes essentially are saying, you know, we counted pretty much all the mail-in ballots. They said this, but we can't count the election day votes until Monday. Because they locked themselves out of the USBs, essentially. Yes, that's right. They have like, I think each precinct has like 2 USB ports. Essentially, they locked themselves out of it. It's like, and they can't get into it by Monday. It's like, how? It's a USB! It's like, this is so incompetent. It's just absurd that they locked themselves out of a USB port which only has election day votes. So this isn't even mail-in votes. This is election day votes. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, man, like 2020, you can make the argument, okay, the influx of mail-in ballots caused this. There wasn't many mail-in ballots here. It was mostly election day ballots. And they got locked out of it. It's like, what? So that is why we will not know the winner of this election. Because they're saying around 7,000, you know, votes left in Allegheny. I think that's closer to 3,000 when you look at the precinct data. But either way, they are somehow able to count the mail-in votes in a day. But magically, they can't count the election day votes for a week. Again, I'm not alleging the F word. I'm just saying this is pure incompetence. And this is why we need election reform. How can you get yourself locked out via a USB port to the election day votes? So yeah, this election is coming down to what we get from Allegheny and a little bit of Bucks. But mostly Allegheny. Alright, Bucks is starting to come in slowly. And that's going to be more favorable to Oz. Allegheny, more favorable to McCormick. This race is a total shit show. And this shows what's wrong with American elections. Look, you could say all you want about universal voter ID. Right? They have it in Wisconsin. How did that turn out? When you have incompetent county officials running elections like, oh yes, we will not convene until Friday. It's like, what? So yeah, this election's a complete dump. It's a disgrace what's happening. We need true electoral reform. Not just, you know, ban mail-in ballots and universal ID. We need more. Like, hey, count the absentee ballots prior. But also, don't put the freaking election day votes on a USB port and get locked out of it. It's like, this is just pure incompetence. And I do hope this truly makes people realize, okay, you can say what you want about the F word. This is absurd what is happening to our elections. We need reforms. If France can count all their votes in, what is like 3 hours? Pennsylvania has nowhere near the population, I believe. I'm pretty sure. Yes, they don't. But somehow we're going to be a week later and we don't know who won the primary to the United States Senate. It's a disgrace, and we truly do need electoral reform. Again, I'm not doing a postmortem on these races yet. Tomorrow, most likely, because most of the races will be in. Just freaking the Senate race, we probably won't know till Monday. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, smash that like button down below. Subscribe, share with your friends, hit the little bell, and yes, of course, go follow that mysterious Twitter account in the description down below. Follow my Truth Social. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Godspeed to all of you.